There's this big question of the extent to which Joe Biden can put Humpty Dumpty back together again. Clearly, there are some things he can do straight away, like re-entering the Paris Climate Agreement and the World Health Organization. Whether you can reboot the Iran nuclear deal is slightly less clear, but he's going to have a go at that too. But yes, generally, the post-war rules-based international order has been crumbling, and Donald Trump has accelerated that process. But I think this is a prevailing theme for 2021 generally, which is we can't turn back the clock. We are looking at a different world now, and it's not just in foreign policy and in the state of international institutions. It's also in things like technological behaviours and business behaviours, where we've seen big changes in 2020, and it's not going to be the case that we simply go back to the way things were at the beginning of the year. We are going to see some of those changes sticking, and the big question is how much.
Tom, I mean this in a good spirit, because I love your publication. I love the 2021 with the eye test on the front, but I didn't see COVID on it as well. I think this year's is a slot machine, which for me typifies the fact that we have such random outcomes potentially from 2021. Is that how you see it, that we are at basically spinning the wheel or just pulling the arm on the slot machine this year?
Yes, that's exactly right. So I'm first to put my hand up and say we did not, a year ago, when we were putting out the annual for 2020, we did not predict a worldwide coronavirus pandemic. So we got that wrong. No one saw it coming, including us, and that meant that nearly all of the predictions we made about 2020 were then thrown off base. I think what's the situation, the reason I've gone with the slot machine on the front of the world in 2021 is to reflect this unusual uncertainty, because you've got this sort of interaction between the pandemic, the economy and geopolitics, which is extremely unpredictable. And the way it plays out depends to a large extent on what happens on the medical front. How quickly are vaccines rolled out? How effective are they? How good a job do governments do of getting them to people? What happens with these fights, both between countries and within countries, over access to the vaccine? That has an enormous effect on the way the economy recovers. We're going to see a very uneven and patchy recovery, with some sectors and some countries going faster than others. So our economics editor says this is a year of greater economic uncertainty than possibly in living memory. So you've got those double uncertainties, and then you've got this whole question of the geopolitics and the extent to which the Biden administration can change the weather on all of these things, from disagreements with China to climate and so on. So you really have got this extraordinary level of uncertainty, and that's sort of appropriate because the number 21 is itself associated with gambling and risk-taking. It's the age at which you can be admitted to a casino in the US. It's the number of spots on a standard die, and so on.